The man who learned to respect himself. My friend, let me tell you a story about a man named David. David was a good man, but he was a tired man. He spent his days running in circles, trying to be everything to everyone. He was the first to apologize, even when he wasn't wrong. He was the one who stayed in conversations that drained him. He was the one who said yes to things that made him feel empty inside. He thought that being a good person meant sacrificing his own peace. But one day, David looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back. He was successful in the eyes of others, but he felt like a failure in his own soul. That was the day he decided to change. That was the day he started a journey to truly respect himself. You see, self-respect is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is the quiet foundation of a good life. And for David, building that foundation meant learning 10 difficult but beautiful lessons. Here are 10 things that made David respect himself more. First, David learned to keep his promises to himself. He had promised himself 1,000 times he would start exercising, start that side project, or start waking up early. But he always broke those promises. He realized that every time he broke a promise to himself, he was telling his own soul that he didn't matter. So he started small, a 10-minute walk, a 5-minute journal entry, and slowly he began to trust himself again. Second, he learned to speak his truth with kindness. For years, he had swallowed his words to avoid conflict. He agreed with things he didn't believe in. He laughed at jokes he found offensive. But he learned that you can be both kind and honest. He started to say, "I see it differently," or "I'm not comfortable with that." And the world didn't end. In fact, people began to respect his honesty. Third, David learned the power of setting and enforcing boundaries. He realized that he was the only one who could protect his own energy. He stopped answering work emails at midnight. He told his friend that he couldn't be their therapist anymore. He told his family that certain topics were off limits. It was hard at first. People were upset. But David understood that a boundary is not a wall to keep people out. It is a door that only lets the right people in. Fourth, he began taking care of his mind and body. He understood that his body was a temple, not a garbage can. He started eating food that fueled him. He started sleeping a full 8 hours. He exercised, not to look good for others, but to feel strong for himself. He fed his mind with books and podcasts that inspired him, not with gossip and negativity. He realized that self-respect starts with respecting the vessel you live in. Fifth, he learned to walk away from toxic situations. This was one of the hardest lessons. He had a friend who was always negative, always draining. He had a job that made him miserable. He had relationships that were built on taking rather than giving. And for the first time, he gave himself permission to leave. He didn't need to explain. He didn't need to fight. He just gently removed himself from environments that were poisoning his soul. He learned that walking away is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of immense strength. Sixth, he developed the courage to admit when he was wrong. David used to defend himself with his last breath. He hated being wrong. But he realized that pride was the enemy of growth. When he made a mistake, he started to say, "I was wrong, and I'm sorry." He was surprised to find that this didn't make him smaller, it made him bigger. People trusted him more because they knew he was honest about his flaws. Seventh, he stopped begging for attention or love. David had spent years chasing people who didn't see his worth. He would triple text, he would overgive, he would try to prove why he was valuable. But he learned a powerful lesson. You cannot beg someone to value you. You cannot force someone to see your light. Love and attention that must be demanded is not love at all. He stopped chasing and started attracting. He knew his worth, and he let go of those who didn't. Eighth, he began facing his fears. He had a fear of public speaking. He had a fear of failure. He had a fear of being alone. But he learned that fear is just a sign that you are about to grow. He started by saying yes to things that scared him. He took small risks. He discovered that on the other side of fear was the person he was always meant to be. Ninth, he committed to living with integrity. He decided that his private actions would match his public words. He stopped pretending to be someone he wasn't. He made sure that his life was a mirror of his values. When he was alone, he was the same man he was in public. And that inner consistency gave him a sense of peace he had never felt before. And finally, 10th, David learned to forgive himself. This was the most important lesson. He looked back at all his past mistakes, all the times he had failed, all the hearts he had broken, and he chose to let it go. He realized that guilt is not a destination, it's a stop sign. He let the shame go. He told his reflection, "I forgive you. You did the best you could with what you knew. Now we move forward." David didn't just become a better man, he became a free man. He walked with his head held high, not because he was arrogant, but because he had finally made peace with his own soul. Friend, self-respect isn't about being perfect. It is about honoring the person you are, right now, and treating them with the love and dignity they deserve. Respect yourself enough to walk away from what hurts you. Respect yourself enough to stay for what heals you. And if you are on this journey of self-respect, if this story resonates with the very core of your being, type yes in the comments and let me know you are a fellow traveler on this path.